Колеги, ми продовжуємо робочий день. Тема наступного прес-брифінгу – відпочинок дітей.
Recreation of children, volunteers, and of soldiers of pre-front in Miedzywodzie. It's cooperation of Samobrona Maidan Self-defense. We will have Andriy Gabrov and Kateryna Chepura and daughter of the keeper from Brigade 93, Kateryna Antonova. The floor is yours, colleagues. Good morning. I would like to thank everyone that together with the Foundation Generation and me as a organized recreation of more than 100 children from pre-front area, children whose parents died during on the duty in the east of our country, and also children whose parents are volunteers and they help our volunteer battalions in the east. Recreation of children, that is the issue working on for 2 years, and in 2 years on the coast of the Baltic Sea in Poland. We organized recreation for more than 500 children. That's a big plan, and that's a foundation generation since the first day of Maidan. A lot helped Ukraine, and it helps volunteer battalions. And recently we came from Severodonetsk, where we visited a school for children, and where for 9 hours a direct principal was defended from Russian aggressors, and they didn't allow to take children from Luhansk to Russian Federation. She took the children to Ukraine, and now 61 of them are in Severodonetsk. And it was a pleasure. Polish organization is very active and assisting from the very beginning of Maidan. And I believe that as self-defense of Maidan, we can be proud that we have such colleagues, those people who think like us in Poland and who care about this. Because in Poland they say, well, there is no free Poland without free Ukraine. That's why I believe that they really care. And the plans for the next year and for this winter, we are planning to send for recreation in the mountains of Poland when kids have vacations, and and also for the next year we plan a big program. It will be recreation for more than 500 children, also from Ukraine. And I believe that is a very good example. Thank you. I'm very thankful. Our children showed their best, and they were very patriotic. And they noticed in Poland that in Poland they should learn to be such patriotic. And when at every event, every activity, they always said glory to Ukraine. So I'm very thankful. Thank you. Good morning, Kateryna Chepura. I was one of the tutors during the trip, who guided the kids. And for me, the most important role of this trip and similar trips was the role which is played by volunteer movements during their war, like motivating role, because for the parents who are in the war, who are volunteers, when someone free of charge can take their children, that's very important for them, because they feel that they are not forgotten and that they are needed, and that if something happens to them, their children will not be forgotten. So it seems to me that this is very important. And as to children, like Andriy told, that they were very patriotic. I would like to underline that. it was clear that these are parents of their children, patriotic parents, and this is not the first time when I take kids somewhere. I know what it means. I'd like to thank the Polish party, because they don't owe anything to us. They are not obliged to do that. So it's just a gesture of goodwill and of understanding of the situation. And this support is very important, and I hope that it will be on the same level in the future, and we will also do our best. Thank you.
I am Kateryna Antonova. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers of this rest. All children, myself, we all liked it, and I am happy that other countries like Poland, they're really taking care of some other countries of Ukraine in such a difficult period of time like we have now. Thank you, colleagues. If you have something to sum up, I would like to add that we have another group of children which is in Poland right now, and it is important. We have 10 groups, 10 persons in each one, and they mixed up with Polish groups, and they went to different towns of Poland. It is important that they are demonstrating, they're showing Ukraine in Poland. They even teach Polish, Ukrainian language. And we are bringing something there, we are presenting something. We are like a business card of Ukraine. If we go abroad, we demonstrate that we are Ukrainians and we are from Ukraine, and that is important. On the 13th of August, all these groups will get to Kraków to final assembly, and I hope that our group will be the winners in the competition which will be held there. And I am proud that we have such great children who can go abroad and can present our country so well. Thank you. Now, the questions, please. Radio Liberty. Do local authorities of Poland participate in that? And the second question is to Katia Antonova. You talk to Polish teenagers. Do they understand what's happening in Ukraine? Do they know about keyboards? During 2 last days of our trip, we met Marshal and Voivoda of Polish, who were talking a lot about cooperation. That all is, these are all people from Solidarność, the Solidarność who is basically now managing Poland, and they participated in that. They arranged their accommodation at the hotel for children, and they communicated there, and we could feel the support of Polish authorities. Yes, we communicated to the Polish teenagers, and they understand the situation in Ukraine. When we arrived in these yellow T-shirts, they thought that Maidan is still taking place, and they support us, and they are against Russia. Thank you. The next question. UCMC, the question about activities. What are the activities there? What is the competition that you've mentioned? We were in the seaside, so the main activity was just being at the seaside. Basically, children, half of a day we would spend in the sea. When the weather was bad, we usually were involved in different sports activities. We had two matches between Polish and Ukrainians. We lost in the first one, we won in the second one. 3 Polish guys were playing for our team in the second game. There was no competition, but also the songs Polish would request us to sing Ukrainian songs, and we would organize discos for children. The Polish would come and invite. There were different also sports activities like taekwondo, and every Polish group would come to us and would invite us to different activities. They wanted to to communicate to us. How many days would this rest last? You said that 100 children participated. Who was selecting people? How was it possible to select?
The first group was there for about more than 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks, but the selection was like this. In the headquarters of the Center of Self-Defense of Maidan, we have information about parents, participants of Maidan, and activists of our friends, brothers who are on the front line, about those who perished, and that was our approach. Without missing any family, we called them. We offered that recreation for them. We did everything possible for us to involve as many children as possible. For some reasons, some children were not able to get their passports and international transportation for traveling. And but that's fine. We will involve them next year. As for the plans, you told that in winter there will be one more group for recreation. Who will apply for it? It's very important. When at 2 o'clock in the morning, on the steps of Ukrainian House, and when I met this group, one of the organizers, Andriy Gabrov, called me. He's a political prisoner, and 3 times he was in a jail. That he burned the office of the Communist Party in Poland, and now 90% of his work he helps Ukraine and children. That's his life. He cares about that. When children were leaving, and he cared a lot for several days. It takes him to come down because during those days, and he told me that this is my family. I cannot live without them. And he told me, he thanked me for such a group, for such good kids, and for such nice kids. He told that very soon he would inform me how many children will be invited for winter vacations to Zakopane in the mountains for recreation. There is no such a program. He just called his friends. He calls his friends, and he's raising money for that. Everybody gets involved, and Poland lives by that. They also care because they understand that if there is no free Ukraine, there will be no free Poland. One more question. Maybe you will be hurt by potential sponsors or those who would like to participate in that recreation. How to keep in touch with you? Is there a website or what? All our Center to Support Volunteers by Samovrona Maidan, our co-organizer is also self-organized Self-defense of Maidan, and we'll be always happy if someone wants to participate and to support us. And it would be great if potential sponsors make such steps, and for us to be able to invite Polish children, even less. It's fun, and to do something like that in Ukraine. We have a lot to show. We have lots of views and sightseeings, and we can organize something very good for kids, for them when they come back to tell about Ukraine. Any question? No. Thank you very much. Good luck and see you. Our next briefing is at 12, and that will be Skype from Mariupol.